In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make a propaganda style poster. It's a pretty popular genre for kids' rooms, and in this video I'm going to do a gaming poster, but in the style of like a World War II propaganda poster. It should be fun. Let's jump in. Now, if you've never heard of Kittl before, I encourage you to check it out. I'm going to put a link in the video description down below. Just a heads up, it is an affiliate link. That just means if you click the link and you wind up buying something, I would receive a small commission. Kittl is famous for having these amazing templates. So when you click on the template, you can use the design and you can edit all the different pieces inside the poster. And it's great for a t-shirt, coffee mug, fine art print, what have you. In this video though, we're actually not going to be using the templates at all. I'm going to go up to New Project on the top right and we'll start our poster. Okay, to start off, I'm going to change my artboard size here. So I'm going to go up to Settings, and down at the bottom where it has Width and Height, I'm just going to make my width 1000 pixels wide. Okay, and another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the settings and I'm going to click Show Grid in this case. Now you can change the size of the grid. There's a slider down below. You can make it 20, 80, whatever you want. In this case, I'm actually going to go to 40, which is my grid size, and it's really important. I want to have all these little squares. Now the first thing in a propaganda poster that I'm going to do is stripes. Okay, so to create stripes is pretty easy. Under basic shapes, I'm just going to click the square. I'm going to move it up to the top so it's kind of locked into the top left corner. I'm then going to make this 2 squares wide, and I'm going to drag this down to the bottom. So there's my stripe, and I'm also going to change the color of it to be red, a little bit darker than exact red, but just like that. Now to copy this is actually pretty simple. I can hold down the Alt key and I can just move it over, and that just creates a secondary stripe. So just by simply holding down the Alt key, very easy to do. You can also use Control C and Control V. Control C is copy and Control V is paste. Okay, so I've got all my stripes set up. Now what I can do is I can click Control A, and that highlights everything, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Group, and that's going to change it now so that when I click on one item, it selects all of it. And then what I can simply do is just move using the arrow keys. I'm just moving it to the left. I'm just moving it so it's a bit centered, so that I've got my 2 stripes along the edges are going to be the same size, about 1.5 squares. Okay, so I've got my stripes. Now I'm going to grab the basic shape again, a black one, and I'm going to go here to the bottom, and I'm just going to make a nice black rectangle down at the bottom, and that's where I'm going to put my text in. Nice thing is I can always change the size of this a bit later. I'll then click my settings, and I'll turn off my grid. Okay, so I want to show you a technique that you can use under Elements. I'm going to type in the word airplane. A really popular thing in old vintage propaganda posters is the way airplanes are set up in a big grid formation. So I'm going to make my airplane about that size there. And you can see there's these grids centering lines that come into play. When I hold this right there, you can see it's centered now exactly. You can also use the centering button here, and that'll change it so it's exactly in the middle. I just want it to be centered like that. So what I'm going to do now is click Control C and Control V, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to move this one down underneath it. And then I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go 4 deep in this case. Now what I'm going to do is make this one underneath it slightly smaller. And I'm going to make this one underneath it slightly smaller than that. And then this one slightly smaller. So they're getting progressively smaller. Now you'll notice they're not aligned anymore. So I'm going to select all 4 and I'm going to align them. So now they're exactly right. I'm going to make this a different color so we can see it easy. They're going to be bright blue here in this case. Now I want to move all these as a group. Now here's the key. I'm going to highlight all 4. I'm going to right click and I'm going to group it. So now when I click 1, I can move all of them as one unit. I'm going to move it right there so it's centered. Now this is the neat part. Control C and Control V gets me a secondary line of them. And I'm going to do this one more time. Control C and Control V. So now I've got an array of planes. In the propaganda posters, a lot of times they'll be on an angle. And the nice thing is when you rotate this down at the bottom, you can see there's a little rotation button. You can see it actually gives you a numerical value for this. So this is 6 degrees, for example. So I'm going to make this 6 degrees off. And then this one, I'm going to change it so it's the other way, -6 degrees. You can do this one more time, Control C, Control V, move this off to the side, and you could make this now, instead of 6, you could make it another 6. And then I'm going to just create that one more, Control C and Control V. And then from here, I could actually just right click this and I could actually flip it horizontally, and that'll just get me another one over here. So now I can select all of them, and I can make it so that they're level up at the top. So I've made an actual array now of airplanes. So you could have it look like that, for example. You don't need to have the stripes and the planes in, but I just wanted to show you that technique, that if you wanted a bunch of planes, you can easily move them around by grouping them together. By simply changing the group color now, I can change it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, I'm going to go to the text, and I'm going to go here to vintage text under decorated, show all, and I'm going to pick an old timey looking text, in this case bistro. And I'm going to type in the words eat, sleep, game, repeat. Now you can change this very easily by dragging this out. So I'm going to make it too wide. I'm going to make it nice and big. And I don't like how there's a space in between eat, sleep, and game, repeat. There's too much space here. I can actually change right here where it says line height. I can actually make this line height less by simply clicking the mouse a bunch of times, or I can just hold down the mouse, and that moves it so that there's basically no space in between. That's what I want, a little bit more like that. I'm also going to change the color of the font, and instead of it being orange, I want to have it be white. And then instead of it being a border weight of this orangey color, I want to have it be the exact same color as the red. So I'm going to use a little eyedropper tool, click inside the red, and we can see now the red is inside. The text color here I'm going to change to be black, and by simply dragging this, I can make this quite a bit bigger. I can also center this as well. I like this being one chunk of text because it's easy now for me to center it. Now, being a gaming poster, I'm going to go over here to the left and click Elements, and I'm going to type in the word gaming. I'm going to grab a gaming controller, and then I like what this is here. There's a star pattern right there. So I'm going to grab that as well, and I'm going to make this star pattern white. Simply go up here to the top, and this is going to be my central piece in my design. So I'm going to put this right here, going to center it, and then this piece here, I want to put so that it's kind of around the gaming device. Now I want these two to be together. So I'm going to click the gaming device, and I'm going to click the stars. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go group. And that means if at any point during this I want to change one or move it, I can click it and they both highlight and I can move them around. I'm going to go here to the left. I'm going to add one more element, and it's the word soldier. And then I found this great looking skull, and he's got a soldier helmet on, and what I really like is there's the straps that are hanging down. So I'm going to put this over here so it's in between. The straps hang down and they just touch the eat and the game. Okay, now you may notice the color is off between the skull and between this gaming device. So if you want them to match, then what you would do is you would select the skull, for example, and you'll see there's a bunch of olive colors that pop up, and I want it to match this gaming device. So I'm going to select the olive color, and then I'm just going to go here to the color picker, and I'm just going to select the color picker. And we can see now it's changed the bullets along the top. I'm going to do that as well with the olive color of the helmet, color picker, and I could select it, and that'll change it. So now we've got a match. The last thing I'm going to do here is down at the very bottom on the left-hand side, there's textures. And I'm going to pick a grunge texture. I think this really takes the design to the next level. I'm going to pick this grunge texture here, and that populates the whole thing now on top of the poster. So I really think the texture takes it to the next level. Now, if you don't like the texture, simply click in the white, and that's going to be the background. And you can release the texture. You can then move it around or simply delete it. And then you could pick another texture as well. Maybe you want something a bit more subtle. So I'm going to select the second one, and that'll populate. You can see it's a tiny bit more subtle now. So in just a matter of minutes, we've created a great looking gaming design that's in the style of a propaganda poster from World War II. I think this would look great in a kid's room, could look great in the man cave, could look great wherever gaming is being held. Hope you found this video helpful. I love Kittl. Check out the link in the video description below. And here's another video on how you can supercharge your print-on-demand journey using Kittl. Thanks a lot for watching.